very welcome back. Now, this morning, stylist Laura Jordan joins us with a shape masterclass.
Yes, we're learning how to dress for our body shapes in order to understand our curves and dress to showcase our best assets. No better woman than Laura Jordan to explain all to us. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So how exactly are we measuring our bodies in order to dress perfectly?
I think we typically focus a lot on the horizontal shape, which is the proportion of bust to hips. And that's where we get the words like pear, strawberry, banana, and these things which are, in my opinion, not so helpful to women because we don't know what we are. And I just never think it's good to compare yourself to a fruit or vegetable. So what we're going to do
it's
today...
a good start.
Yeah, exactly, is to look instead at the horizontal shape, relative proportion of torso to legs. So you can find, I suppose, in terms of starting point of what you might be by taking your thumb and placing it in the small of your back, which is the little groove at the base of your back, and that gives you an idea of where your torso ends. It's literally like your hip socket is at the base of it, and that then is your length of leg measurement, a bit of a mouthful, versus the top of your head or your neck, doesn't really matter, to the base of your back, which is the torso measurement. And we're going to have a look at how you play that up, because I think when you look at the language around lengthening legs, particularly online or even in magazines, occasionally you see the concept of just wear a high-waisted trouser and a pair of heels, or tuck your top into, a high-waisted jean. That works for like 5% of the population who have the body shape to allow that to happen.
Yes.
But really what I want to do today is look at the tricks around making your shape work for you when you're wearing skirts, dresses, and trousers as well.
So Becky's out first?
Yes.
Great, we'll have a look at Becky now.
Becky is wearing a dress, which again is very important to highlight how you can elongate the legs with the dress. And what we've done here is we have chosen a piece which raises the waist, okay, which is important in that the waist cinches right from here, so our legs literally flow from below the bust down. And again, in the shoes we've chosen, there's a point on that which is giving us length as well. So we'll start with a bit of sparkle at the ears. And again, just something simple, because there's print on this dress. There's no point in going too much colour and variety. Same with the neck piece, nice and classic. This is a mix of rose gold plated with sterling silver and a small little stone in it too for a bit of sparkle. Then we have a nice V on the neck, which is good for a bigger bust. And the key point here is we are raising the waist by choosing a dress that cinches in high on the hips and then just flows.
So in this, the objective is to make Becky's legs look longer?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and again, when we think about, and our boots again, give ourselves that point. So your leg looks a bit longer when you have a pointy toe, as opposed to a round toe or a square toe, which kind of, shuts off the length at your feet. Now, people often say, and it's a misconception, oh, well, obviously, if you're very tall, you must have long legs. And if you're shorter, you must have short legs. Absolutely not. It's the relative proportion of the two parts of your body, not the height you are.
Makes total sense.
So that's something just to keep in mind. So here we have Ursula, and what we're noting here, again, as we go through in a moment...
She's in perfect proportion. That's what we're noticing.
Starts with point one. But in terms of even just the accessory we popped with it, we see that first. So just a little rose gold plated on the ear. So just really simple, because there's pattern going on in this piece. You don't want it to clash for attention. And same with something that just sits beautifully when you have a bare neckline is your little disc. This look here is from Fee & Co in Portmarnock, and what I want to note of it is this is a jumper that's technically tucked into a trouser, okay, which is what we're always told to do. Tuck in to make your legs look longer so you can visibly see the waistband of the trouser, but it's loose, so we don't know what's tummy and what's top, which I think is really important.
It's kind of a French tuck, isn't it?
Exactly, that's exactly it. A French tuck in at the side, and it's just a little bit looser. So as you see, when we move to the side, you can still see the height of the trouser, which gives us our length. Whereas on the other side, can you see on the other side, the top where it's not tucked in, the legs look a little shorter because the leg seems to start from mid-thigh as opposed to from hip height. So you're getting a few extra inches by doing a subtle tuck. And then we have the shoes to pair with it. These are from Fabucci. They're also online if you can't get to the store. But again, a good autumn tone, and that snake print is everywhere.
What about in the instance where ladies perhaps have lovely long legs and they're delighted, but they're conscious that maybe their torso is a little bit shorter? Are we tucking in then?
If you're going to tuck in if you have a higher waisted trouser.
Okay.
So this is actually a good example for someone who has those longer legs. So, and again, we've gone with a dress because people are in our head think I have to have trousers and top to make my legs look longer. Not at all. We'll look at that in a moment. So here we have, again, just a larger piece of jewellery because we have a more simple look, and the neckline that goes with it. This is engravable as well, which is helpful if you maybe have 2 kids or something and you want to get the initials engraved. So this here is a midi dress, which we see everywhere. They're not going anywhere for winter. They're still flying high in the trend stakes. So we've gone with an option here where the elastic is high just here underneath the bust and makes the legs look longer as a result, because the legs go from where the elastic ends and just flows right down. And then even the jacket that pairs with it, just because it's too cold to wear that, out and about, just gives us a little bit of an extra. So literally it goes from that piece of elastic right down to the ground, and it makes your legs a little bit longer as opposed to a drop waist, which is something that we then tend to see, like, and as on that point you're mentioning, no one ever asks me, Laura, please make my legs look shorter. Okay,
Yeah.
so typically that's not a question we're asked. It's always about, if you have long legs, great, half your work's done for you, but how do you show them off?
And typically, Laura, would a drop waist shorten everyone's look?
Yeah,
As in, it's not really that flattering for any shape, is it?
I agree that it makes your torso look longer, so you kind of need the proportionate length in your legs to even balance
it out,
Never
yeah.
mind to make it look, more longer. If that makes
Yes,
sense. That's
yeah.
the word. And so, the drop waist, that flapper style, which again comes in around Christmas a lot.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I always making a note of that. And when you add in sparkles,
Beware
and
of the
sequins,
drop
I know.
waist.
It's like all those
The
extra
evil
things.
drop waist.
Evil waist. It is typically works for someone
Good
who's
to
kind
know.
of longer and leaner, and particularly when you're choosing your belt as well. Just make sure it's something a bit higher rather
Yes.
than something
Okay.
that sits low on the waist.
Oh, it's a minefield.
We're getting there. We're
Get there.
learning.
We've part 2 later to look for a few more.
More
Thank you,
lessons
Laura.
later on from you.
Thank you.
Thanks.